The Minnesota Timberwolves have been one of the best teams in the NBA this season, and while a lot of it goes on their defense, which is the best in the NBA, led by Rudy Gobert, it's very clear the franchise centerpiece of this team is Anthony Edwards. The former number 1 pick has lived up to the billing, getting better every season, showing us why he's viewed as a future superstar. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the game of Anthony Edwards, what I've been encouraged by, as well as what I still want to see improvement in. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways that can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Ant. Whenever I talk about Anthony Edwards, I always bring up how linear his statistical improvement has been since entering the NBA, and for good reason, because he improves every season in terms of production, volume, and efficiency. Every season of his young NBA career, his points per game, assists per game, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, true shooting percentage, free throw attempts, and estimated plus minus all improve. It's one thing to become more efficient. It's one thing to become more productive. It's one thing to take more responsibility. It's another to get better at all of those things in a linear way, while also producing the way Edwards has through his NBA career so far. And on top of this, he was really young entering the NBA, one of the youngest players in his rookie season, and to see what he's been able to do has really been impressive. I've been very encouraged by Edwards as a rim pressure threat this season. He's shooting 64.3% at the rim on 5.9 attempts per game. On top of that, he's also averaging 6.7 free throw attempts per game. At 6'5", 225 pounds, Edwards is one of the best athletes in the NBA. He's incredibly strong and physical, he's quick, he's fast, he's extremely explosive from a vertical perspective. And in the past, I would bring up this idea that he should be a better rim pressure threat than he actually shows in the numbers and on tape. This season, I feel like he is showing the rim pressure ability that his athletic intangibles and basketball skills suggest that he should have. While he does still have a bad whistle due to being a really strong player and how the NBA tends to allow more contact against players as strong and physical as Edwards is, I've noticed improvement with his technique drawing fouls, and the numbers have gone up as a result of it. And he's also been what I would describe as the most definitive in his processing attacking the basket this season, especially compared to prior seasons. He can still get better in this area, but I believe his rim pressure is reaching the point that it's a foundational skill of his offense that his athleticism and physical tools have always suggested that should be, which is very encouraging because in college and during his first year or two in the NBA, that wasn't always the case. So to see him make an effort to capitalize on what his physical and athletic tools can bring to his game has just enforced the belief that he has the motor and drive to become the best basketball player he possibly can. Anthony Edwards is an intriguing shot creator. I wouldn't say he's as advanced as a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kyrie Irving, or a Luka Doncic in terms of what I would consider skill counters, but that's not to say he has bad creation intangibles. I actually think he has really good creation intangibles. He has a good handle. He has pretty decent skill counters. I just think he's very much an athletic-based creator. I have a belief that athleticism can make up for creation flaws to a certain extent. As long as a player has legit good shot-making tools, I believe a player can produce at the same level or close to the same level of shot creation as a pure elite skill creator if they have decent to good skill as a shot creator and shot maker combined with elite athleticism. Jaylen Brown is the biggest example of this. Now, I would say that Edwards is more advanced than Jaylen as a creator, but I think the same concept still applies in a basic sense. And I don't think this is a bad thing. Edwards has good shot creation intangibles that become a part of an elite skill set because he's bigger, quicker, faster, and stronger than anyone else at the position. He can use his athleticism to overpower as well as separate from defenders at a high level off the bounce. I would like to see the mid-range numbers get a bit better. According to Clean the Glass, he's shooting 38% on both short and long mid-range areas, 4.6 attempts from the short mid-range area, which is 4 feet to just within 14 feet, 3.3 on long mid-range attempts, which are shots between 14 feet and just within the 3-point line. We'd like to see that get to the 40s. Regardless, Edwards has a combination of skill and athleticism that make him an elite shot creator on the ball, which combined with his rim pressure ability makes him very hard to contain. As a 3-point shooter, Edwards has made progress. I wouldn't say he's elite, but he is a good one. He shoots at least 35% high volume since his second NBA season. In this season, he's having his most efficient year from beyond the arc, 38.6% on 6.4 attempts per game. To dive deeper into the numbers, Edwards is showing he can score from beyond the arc both on and off the ball, as he's shooting 47.1% on 2 catch-and-shoot attempts per game and 35.1% on 4.4 pull-up attempts per game. He has very fluid mechanics. In terms of shot versatility, I would say he has some of the best shot mechanics in the NBA. His form is very effective in both on and off ball 3-point shooting scenarios. I think in terms of volume and efficiency, the long-term comp for his 3-point shooting numbers is like a James Harden, mid to high 30s on high volume, although that's purely in the numbers. While Edwards is capable of taking and making tough threes, he also showcases more shot versatility than Harden did in Houston. I think this is an underrated aspect of Edwards' game. The athleticism and tough shot making are going to get most of the attention, but the ability to be a versatile shooter gives him lineup flexibility and role versatility, which is valuable for any player, let alone a player who's good enough to build your franchise around like Anthony Edwards is. And I would say that Edwards has made strides as a playmaker. The assist per game numbers have gone up every year, and while the improvement is marginal, it is still worth mentioning that there's been some slight improvement in terms of assist to turnover ratio. What I have noticed is he's getting better at understanding his scoring gravity. He knows he's good enough to draw help defense, and he's getting better at knowing what players will have a scoring advantage because of the help defense he draws. Now, I wouldn't say he's reached primary playmaking status, nor do I think he will probably ever reach that type of status. His vision is good, but it's not great. He can make some advanced reads, but he's far from consistently making those reads. And overall, I just think he doesn't quite meet the thresholds required to be a high-level primary playmaker full-time. However, that really doesn't matter because I think he's reaching a point where he's more than good enough as a playmaker to complement an elite scoring game. He doesn't need to be Luka, Trey, or Harden in his prime as a playmaker. To reach his full potential, he just has to be a good playmaker. He's well on pace to be that in my opinion right now, based off of the development trends, and you can even argue he's a good one right now. The one thing I will say, he needs to work on knowing when to balance playmaking and scoring, but that's really common for young players making strides as focal point creators. I think with reps he will get better in due time in this regard, but overall I think he's reaching a level where he's not just a scorer, he's a complete offensive player. Anthony Edwards is a player I feel like was made in a lab to be a superstar 2 guard in the NBA. I know we give the quote-unquote creative player tag to freaking natures and bigger players like Wemby, Giannis, Chet, and Paulo, but I think Ant falls into this category as well. If you were making a shooting guard in a video game, you would build something like Anthony Edwards. Ideal height, super strong, elite athleticism, good shooter, good shot creator, decent playmaker. That's how to describe both a fictional created character and the real life future superstar for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I've said in videos about Anthony Edwards in the past, he's someone I look at and have all the confidence in the world that he can be a superstar. And I don't throw the superstar card around lightly. It takes a special talent to reach those kind of heights. But I think Edwards is that special talent. He has a laundry list of things you can't teach. You can't teach his combination of athleticism, physicality, skill, and wiring as a player. He lives for the bright lights, and his playoff numbers prove that. It's very clear based off his linear development, he's putting in the work to get better. You don't consistently improve the way he has if you don't have the work ethic and drive to get better every single day. It's one thing to have all the gifts Anthony Edwards does. It's another to capitalize on them and work to live up to the heights that those tools can get you to. And I think Edwards is just getting started. He's only 22 years old. He's just scratching the surface of his potential. He's only going to get better. I think at his absolute best, he can be a 30 plus point per game scorer that also puts up pretty good rebounding and assist numbers and can carry an offense as a contender. I think he can be in contention for scoring titles as well as the title of best scorer in the NBA at his best. Have historic scoring nights, have historic scoring seasons, and be in the MVP conversation as the best player on a contender. Whether he lives up to that is something only time will tell, but based off the way it's trending and the fact he's pretty close to that right now, it wouldn't shock me and it shouldn't shock you if he reaches those heights. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Anthony Edwards in the comment section below. How good do you think he is right now? Where does he rank among the best young guards in the NBA? Where does he rank among guards in the NBA? I will go through all of that down below, but with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.